Okay, so we just did chapter 14 of Genesis, Lot's captivity and rescue. Pretty self-explanatory there, but Lot was captured and Abram and a crew went and saved them. And Abram was blessed at the end by Melchizedek, and it was all successful. So there was one thing in there, there was a place name, and I think I called it Salem, and it's actually Salem, which is a shorter name for ancient Jerusalem. Just so you know, in case it pops up in the future. But we're going to jump straight into it. Chapter 15, God's covenant with Abram. And we'll do chapter 15 and 16 today. 15, God's covenant with Abram. After these things with the word of the Lord. After these things, the word of the Lord came to Abram in a vision. Fear not, Abram, I am your shield. Your reward shall be very great. But Abram said, O Lord God, what will you give me? For I continue childless, and the heir of my house is Eliezer of Damascus. And Abram said, Behold, you have given me no offspring, and a slave born in my house will be my heir. And behold, the word of the Lord came to him. This man shall not be your heir, your own son shall be your heir. And he brought him outside and said, Look toward heaven, and number the stars, if you are able to number them. Then he said to him, So shall your descendants be. And he believed the Lord, and he reckoned it to him as righteousness. And he said to him, I am the Lord who brought you from Ur of the Chaldeans, to give you this land to possess. But he said, O Lord God, how am I to know that I shall possess it? He said to him, Bring me a heifer 3 years old, a she-goat 3 years old, a ram 3 years old, a turtle dove and a young pigeon. And he brought him all these, cut them in two, and laid each half over against the other. But he did not cut the birds in two. And when birds of prey came down upon the carcasses, Abram drove them away. As the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell on Abram, and behold, a dread and great darkness fell upon him. Then the Lord said to Abram, Know of a surety that your descendants will be sojourners in a land that is not theirs, and will be slaves there, and they will be oppressed for 400 years. But I will bring judgment on the nation which they serve, and afterward they shall come out with great possessions. As for yourself, you shall go to your fathers in peace. You shall be buried in a good old age, and they shall come back here in the 4th generation, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet complete. When the sun had gone down, and it was dark, behold, a smoking firepot and a flaming torch passed between these pieces. On that day the Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying, To your descendants I give this land, from the river of Egypt to the great river, the river Euphrates, the land of the Kenites and Kenizzites, the Cadmonites, the Hittites, the Perizzites and Rephaim, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Girgashites, and the Jebusites. That's the end of chapter 15. We'll jump straight into 16. Chapter 16, the birth of Ishmael. Now Sarai, Abram's wife, bore him no children. She had an Egyptian maid whose name was Hagar, and Sarai said to Abram, Behold now, the Lord has prevented me from bearing children. Go into my maid, it may be that I shall obtain children by her. And Abram listened to the voice of Sarai. So after Abram had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, Sarai, Abram's wife, took Hagar the Egyptian, her maid, and gave her to Abram, her husband, as a wife. And he went in to Hagar, and she conceived. And when she saw that she had conceived, she looked with contempt on her mistress. And Sarai said to Abram, May the wrong done to me be on you. I gave my maid to your embrace, and when she saw that she had conceived, she looked on me with contempt. May the Lord judge between you and me. But Abram said to Sarai, Behold, your maid is in your power. Do to her as you please. Then Sarai dealt harshly with her, and she fled from her. The angel of the Lord found her by a spring of water in the wilderness, the spring on the way to Shur. And he said, Hagar, maid of Sarai, "Where have you come from, and where are you going?" She said, "I am fleeing from my mistress Sarai." The angel of the Lord said to her, "Return to your mistress and submit to her." The angel of the Lord also said to her, "I will so greatly multiply your descendants that they cannot be numbered for multitude." And the angel of the Lord said to her, "Behold, you are with child, and shall bear a son. You shall call his name Ishmael, because the Lord has given heed to your affliction. He shall be a wild donkey of a man, his hand against every man, and every man's hand against him, and he shall dwell over against all his kinsmen." So she called the name of the Lord who spoke to her, "You are a God of seeing." For she said, "Have I really seen God and remained alive after seeing him?" Therefore the well was called Bir Lahai-roi. It lies between Kadesh and Bered. And Hagar bore Abram a son, and Abram called the name of his son, whom Hagar bore, Ishmael. Abram was 86 years old when Hagar bore Ishmael to Abram. There we go. That's the end of chapter 16. There is quite a bit to unpack there. Sarai obviously thought she wasn't going to be able to have children. If Abram was 86, I wonder how old Sarai was at that point. I'm sure it's been said before. But if she thought she wasn't going to have children, she's then felt desperate and let him have his way with her maid. And she got pregnant straight away. Sarai felt a bit slighted by the way that Hagar looked at her. And that isn't a good scenario. Not at any point in time. So I'm going to read through the study text, and we'll see what that brings to light. But yeah, if you listened, thank you, and I will speak to you tomorrow.